Hello everybody, this is Sheila Carroll and I'm here today again to talk about nature study. This time I want to share with you some of my early experiences, some of them not so early, in which I had this aha moment about nature and nature study. Now, when I was growing up, I was lucky because my parents gave us two things. One was access to all the great books we wanted, whether it was at the library or in the home library. We could read almost anything that we wanted. And then the other thing that my parents gave us was time in the out of doors. In fact, my mother, busy lady that she must have been with 6 children, 4 of them under 6, that she needed time for herself or time to get the dinner on the table, whatever it was. And she would say to us, when we were old enough, of course, to go out, she'd say, the whole kit and caboodle of you, get out of the house, don't come back until dinner. And sometimes we'd be gone 2 and 3 hours roaming, the neighborhood and just playing in the bushes or whatever it was. And so that was good. It was good that we had that. I loved the out of doors. But I didn't have this essential engagement with it that Charlotte Mason is talking about that has such a profound effect on a child's thinking and their ability to learn and observe. It wasn't until I was an adult. My husband and I were on vacation up in the Keweenaw Peninsula, which is in the far north of Michigan. And we decided one day as a lark that we would hire a nature guide who takes you on these nature hikes through the area. Now, Jim Rooks became a good friend after that. But this was our first experience with him. And I still remember getting into his old, beat-up blue van and bouncing over the rocky back roads of the Keweenaw Peninsula, and the shocks just awful, and the squeaking. And when we finally got to our destination, it didn't look like anything to me. I didn't know where we were, and so we got out of the car, and sure enough, there was a small trail, and I could hear the Lake Superior off in the distance, so I knew we were heading to the beach. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to walk this trail until we get to Lake Superior, and then he's going to teach us about Lake Superior, or the beach, or whatever. Well, but that wasn't what Jim did. You see, all of it was worth looking at and listening to. So as he was walking along this little narrow footpath, and we were like his little ducklings going behind him, he was looking side to side, he'd look up, he'd hear a bird, he'd tell you the name of the bird, and then all of a sudden he stopped. He stepped off the trail, and he knelt down on one knee, and he didn't pick the flower, but he gently touched the leaves and the blossoms. And he looked up at us and he said, "This is a Pipsissewa." Isn't that a funny name? I remember it to this day. He said it's very rare in this part of the country, but look, and then he gave it a name. He said it's special, but then he said, but look, and he showed the way that this little plant grew. And he said it was such delight that I could see it. I could enjoy it. He gave that to me. And we had many adventures with Jim after that. He taught us a lot. But that was my first aha moment, that there was something else that you could have from nature besides fresh air and exercise. Later, I read Rachel Carson's works. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, Rachel Carson is a woman who we have a great debt to. Back in I think it's the 60s, she wrote a book called Silent Spring, in which she gave the alarm that our bald eagles were actually being killed off and destroyed by the use of the pesticides that were in the soil at that time and being put on different things around. And she was a great naturalist. She was also a great advocate for teaching children to appreciate nature. And she said, if a child is to retain their inborn sense of wonder, they must have the companionship of at least one adult to share the discoveries, the joy, the delights, and the mysteries of the world we live in. Now that's a remarkable statement. And if you take it to heart, you're that one adult. Jim Brooks was mine, even though I was grown. So I want to reach out to you in that way to understand that it's not about naming things or knowing where to find things in nature. It's about discovery. And that process of discovery leads you on a path that opens your mind and your heart in amazing, amazing ways. Well, that's all for today. The next time I get together with you, I'd like to talk about, well, maybe some of you have this objection in the back of your mind. I don't have time for nature study, and besides, it's an extra. It's kind of like, anything that many families actually, music study is an extra, or art is an extra. So nature study is like an optional activity. I want to show you how it's not optional, really. In fact, were you to embrace this delight in nature, that you yourself will have the same revelation that I did as an adult. What a remarkable change it wrought in me to have that sense of discovery and relationship to nature. And it also changed how I think. So tomorrow we're going to talk about that, and I hope you'll join me. Thank you.